Well, the last few days have been really, really rough. I've been having a tough time. And I am kind of determined that today is going to be a much better day. I'm going to turn the corner on that. And I do have a very nice cup of coffee I just made. So that's a good start for today. So the last few days I've been dealing with a whole bunch of different things. For one, I've been really having a hard time with the elevation here in Flagstaff. Everybody keeps telling me that I'll just adapt to it, adjust to it, and it'll eventually get easier, but it's not getting any better. In fact, I'd say it's probably getting worse, especially over the last few days, which has been pretty difficult to deal with in itself. And so it kind of got me in a bit of a bad mood because I just can't quite move around like I normally do. What I expect to do, I expect to just kind of move around and be up and about, but it's just not really possible for me up here. Then, to add to my kind of bad mood and all, I got a few, well, at least a couple of unexpected bills, big bills, that I would not have been happy about before all of this, but the fact that I just haven't been able to do a whole lot of work, at least as much work as I'd like to be doing. I do some other work other than YouTube. Of course, I make a little bit of money on YouTube videos if people watch the ads, which hardly anybody does, so that kind of tells you how much money I make on YouTube. It's not much. I'm not supposed to say that, by the way. That's against the rules. But there, I've already said it, so we'll see if I edit that out. Yeah, so I do a little other work. Of course, if you're a channel member or a Patreon supporter, you know that, but that's about all I'll talk about that. Anyway, but because I just have not been feeling well up here, I haven't been able to do much of anything, including YouTube. I mean, I just haven't been able to do much of anything. And I basically had no appetite, so this morning I figured to try to get myself kind of in a little bit better shape. I'm going to force myself to eat breakfast, which is something I just haven't been doing. I just have no appetite whatsoever. I drink lots of water. I've been drinking more water than normal, but that's about it. Really have been eating a lot less than normal. So I need to kind of figure out a plan for a few things. I figure the best way to get myself feeling at least a little bit better is to at least get some nutrition in me. So for the last few years, I have been staying away from eggs. I've just been kind of avoiding eating eggs, and this week, as a way to just try to get back to eating something, I have bought some eggs and given those a go. We'll see how this goes, but had a few so far, and they don't seem to be bothering me like they did in the past. So that's good news. And eggs are so easy to cook, and I like the fact that I don't have to store them in my fridge. You know, it's just kind of all around. Eggs are just a really good thing. Let me throw some butter in here. See, I do have some salsa. That would be good here. Being a little messy here this morning. Yeah, like always, I always forget my pot holder. Okay, here we go. I don't know why I always forget. Back when I worked in the restaurant, of course you get used to handling hot stuff. So I think it's just in my brain from back then that I don't need a pot holder. I'm just going to pick this up. But my hands are not cook hands these days. There we go. There's breakfast. I've actually missed having eggs in the van. It's just such an easy thing to cook, and it's such a cheap thing, protein-wise, that, yeah, I think I'm happy being back to eggs. I think I just got to be careful about where I buy the eggs. These came from a little organic grocery store called Natural Grocers, and they had a really good sale. I just saw a sale online, and so I just went over there and picked up a few things, but just because the eggs are on sale. So yeah, I'm happy about having eggs again, and especially when I've got some corn tortillas that I fried up and some salsa, and of course smother it with some cheese, good cheddar cheese. Who could complain about this? So why am I still here in Flagstaff? If I am having trouble with the elevation and I'm not able to work like I need to work, why am I still here? Well, it's a little bit complicated. When I got into town here, it was to pick up some brakes. I wanted to get my brakes fixed for the van, which I got into town before the brakes got here, and I figured, you know, having a few days acclimating to the elevation would be good. And I figured by the time the brakes got here, I would be acclimated and I would be back to my normal kind of routine. Unfortunately, you know, obviously the acclimation didn't happen, but the brakes are now fixed. But in the meantime, I needed to get some mail, and the mail got here, and when I was waiting for the mail to get here, I figured I would order something for the van that I think would be really useful going forward. And I ordered it from Amazon because I only had two choices for what I was looking for. That was Amazon and Alibaba, and I was a little more comfortable going with Amazon. I ordered it, had it sent to an Amazon locker here in Flagstaff at the Whole Foods, figuring that would be the best place to get it. I've done lots of ordering from Amazon to an Amazon locker at places, and I found that the best place usually was in a Whole Foods because Amazon owns Whole Foods, and so it all seems to go really well together, except not in this case. So I've been ready to leave for a few days, except that the Amazon locker in the Whole Foods here in Flagstaff is not operational. I don't know why they allowed packages to be sent there without having an operational locker, but I did talk to somebody at the store, and they said, yeah, it's a brand new Amazon locker, but it never actually came online, and they can't figure out how to get it online. So they're not allowing any deliveries to be done because there's no way to access the machine. So the thing I ordered is being shipped by UPS, and UPS has tried a few times to deliver it, and of course the machine is still broke. I did check this morning when I got up, and as of 8:30 when I got up this morning, the machine is still broke, still not operational, which is not a surprise to me. So yesterday I contacted UPS and changed the delivery. So UPS is supposed to have that package held at their facility here in Flagstaff, and I'm only about 10 minutes away from it. So I'm going to go pick that up. Unfortunately, they don't open until 10:30, so I've got a little bit of a wait here. So I think I'm going to try to tackle one of those bills that I am stressing out about, try to take care of one of those, and then get on my way, and hopefully that package will be at UPS, and then I can plan my exodus here from Flagstaff. Not that I'm really in a hurry to leave. This is a really nice town, but I can't stay here. I can't function here, and so I do need to get out. Okay, it's just about 10:30, so I'm going to head over to UPS and see if I am lucky and I have a package to pick up. Otherwise, I have to go through the whole rigmarole of calling Amazon back and canceling the order and getting a refund. And I've talked to them quite enough over the last few days. So now it's down to UPS. Have I mentioned that I am getting tired of being in the desert? There's a whole lot to like about it. I mean, look at that view. That's incredible. There's even a little bit of snow up on that mountain up there, although I don't think you can see it on the camera. But what gets me a little upset is look at all this dust. I've cleaned my dash off in the last few days. Doesn't look like it. My windshield is covered in dust. There's a lot to like about the desert, and there's a whole lot to not like about it. I have success. I have a box. I can't park here, though. There's not a whole lot of parking, so I'm going to have to go find a place to park for a bit. I'll open the box up and debate whether I'm going to actually show you what's in the box today or hold it for another time. Well, I got to get going because I can't stay here. Well, for a place to park, I've come up here to the Lowell Observatory, which sits up above Flagstaff. It's a nice little drive up here through a little steep, windy road with lots of trees around. So I thought it would be pretty to come up here, and I've been wanting to come up here. I just haven't been doing much, as I was explaining before. But with all the sitting in the van I've done this morning, I think I'd like to get out and walk around a bit, although it is getting warm out here, and it's nice and cool in the van. And I've got a package to open, which I've been eagerly awaiting, but I think I'm just going to walk around first. We'll look at that package later. Maybe I'll show you what's in that package, what I ordered today. Maybe not. Well, there's the observatory up there. But look at that sign. It's saying admission required. Beyond this point, I'm not paying admission to walk up there. I will follow the rules, and I won't go over there. You know what's strange is we're up at the top of this hill, and yet I have almost no cell service here. It's kind of odd. I'd expect it to be much better up here. But it isn't. Should stay off my phone anyway, though, right? What is this? So there is a little sign here. It says it's a kaleidosphere, a Mars kaleidosphere. What is that, you may ask? Well, let's find out. Well, even though the name said Mars Kaleidosphere, I wasn't really expecting to see Marvin. It's kind of funny. Okay, this is a cool place and all, but I went in, checked it out, and basically you've got to pay to do anything here. So I think I'm just gonna park a little bit, maybe do a little food prep. Oh yeah, there's that box. I really should open up that package since I've been waiting for it for quite a while. Alright, let's open up this box here. Now, you might be able to see it says electric cup. What do you think that might be? I'm actually really excited about this. This is something I looked at for about 6 months, looking at different options of things. And this is actually a miniature tea kettle, miniature electric tea kettle. There were a bunch of things that I was looking at and considering when looking at a tea kettle. I've been wanting a tea kettle for quite a while. That's the one thing that I've kind of missed having, is an electric tea kettle. And I would really prefer to have a full-size tea kettle, but this one is small enough, uses small enough amount of power that I can actually power it on one of my little Rock Pals portable power stations, and so that's why I went ahead and chose this. So I'm saying I've spent the last 6 months, but really I've spent about the last year looking at various options that would work as an electric tea kettle for me. And of course there are myriads of different things to keep in mind, not only just my power source, but space considerations, where I'm going to put something. And this one just seemed like it was the closest thing that would work for me. And I really like that it's a stainless steel interior. This one got the nod after all this time, and it was on sale. It was on sale, and then there was a coupon for it. So it ended up being about, with the shipping, it ended up being about $45, except that because Amazon messed up on that shipping to their box here at the Amazon locker, which wasn't working, I had to pay $7 extra to get this held at the UPS store. This looks pretty good. I'm going to plug it in and give it a try, and then again, I'm not going to get into the specifics about why I chose this right now. I'll make a video about this in the future after I've used it for a few days. I think I'm going to move. I don't want to sit here at this spot because, you know, this little observatory is here to make money, and if I'm not spending money, then I should probably not stay here. So I'm going to put all this away, and there's a park right down at the bottom of the hill that I've been spending quite a bit of time at. I think I'm going to go down there. I'll test out this thing and do that food prep. I need to do a bit of food prep. So this is Thorpe Park, and there's a bunch of little park complexes in this little area, and they're all separate, and they all kind of have their own individual kind of style and stuff going on. This one I gravitate to because, not because of the baseball diamonds here behind me, but because of the dog park here. I usually find dog parks are the places I want to hang out the most. There's dogs around, why not? This one is the only one that I've noticed that has full bathrooms, flush toilets. The other ones I think have pit toilets, although I'm not exactly sure on that. So if that's important to you, you might want to head to the dog park area of Thorpe Park. Otherwise, there's lots of little parks in this whole complex that you can park up at the day, and they're all really nice. Okay, I've given this a little clean, and now I need to add some water to it. There's a little max fill line in here, so it's supposedly about 450 milliliters, which is about 15 to 16 ounces. I think it's less than 16 ounces. I think it's more like 15 ounces. And that was the one thing that I wasn't real sure about. I wanted to I'm going to go right up near the max fill line, even though I'm probably going to toss out this first bit. 15 to 16 ounces is not much. Another little drawback here with this is the cord is really short. There's no on-off button for this. When you plug it in, it's live. And then there are a couple of touch-sensitive buttons here on the front. So you just touch the one that you want. It either has a boil function or a stew function. I guess the stew function is like if you wanted to heat up soup or make oatmeal in it. And I guess that would be a good thing. Although really, I'm just buying this mostly for the ability to boil water using solar power. Now, one thing I did forget is that they did include this little tea strainer, so this would fit up into the I didn't exactly read all of the directions. Oh, I guess it just snaps in place. Okay. So I guess you could put your tea in there, drop that in. That's a neat little feature, I guess, if you are a tea drinker, which I am not. So I'm not quite sure if that's going to be useful for me, but okay, so this is saying 92 degrees, and that's Celsius, not Fahrenheit, obviously, but I'm not quite sure what to make of this because that is at a full rolling boil. I think I'm just going to shut it off, and to shut it off I have to unplug it, I believe. I don't think that works. Yeah. Does that work? No. Yeah, a couple little issues here with this. That took a little bit more power than I was expecting. We started at 92%. We're now down to 69%. Maybe drawn a little bit more power than I would like, although that may be my fault for not paying attention because of the wonky thermostat. But it works. Okay, so I got to get this plugged in and charged back up because that's, like I said, a little more power than I was expecting. I'll do that in a second, but I can't get myself to throw this water away. It's perfectly good. So I've got some soapy water here. I'm going to add that in and wash some clothes. Since I'm here at the park with running water, I'll just replenish the water that I have used to wash my clothes out of the sink in the bathroom rather than dump this out. Got to be smart about these things. It's times are tough. Those pants are filthy. Glad I didn't wear them again today. I knew they were dirty, which is why I didn't put them back on, but wow, they were quite bad. I think it's just because of all the sand and dust that's blowing around here. Again, the desert. Good and bad things about being in the desert. Anyway, I've got them hanging up to dry, and I've got the solar panel out to recharge the rock pals after using the new little tea kettle. And now I need to get to my prep. Okay, so what I want to do here is chop up an onion and get it browned off and just have it as an ingredient that I can use with other things that I'm cooking. Like I would have thrown some onion in with my eggs this morning, except I really only like onion when they're really browned up well, and I'm just not going to take the time to do that before cooking a really simple meal. So I thought if I prep this up and put it aside, then I can use it for all my meals. Well, maybe I should have bought a couple onions, but this is good for 2-3 meals anyway. Well, doing this cooking may be a little bit difficult because it's a little windy out. I did have to close the side door. I can't exactly close the back door because I have my clothesline hanging up. But we'll see how this goes. I may have to adjust a bit. But while those are cooking up, I think I'm going to chop up some potatoes. As soon as those onions are done, I'll have these chopped in a pot and ready to boil. Gotta save a little time when you can. These onions are looking pretty good to me. They're just onions cooked off in some olive oil, some salt, and I added some basil there. So I think I'm going to take these off and get these potatoes I have prepped on the stove and get those cooking. Well, thankfully they're mowing the lawn here at the baseball diamonds. That's so very nice to smell freshly cut grass and some diesel fuel or whatever that is wafting in the air. How lucky am I? It's a charmed life, I tell you. All right, these potatoes are done. I can drain them off and cool them down, and then should I make lunch? I think I missed lunch. I think it's like 3 o'clock now. I haven't done a whole lot. At least I don't feel like I've gotten a whole lot accomplished. Where did the day go? I have no idea. Well, I think I'm going to make a little lunch. I'm not hungry, but Actually, can I even call it lunch this late? But I need to kind of force feed myself because I think I feel better today after making myself eat breakfast. So I don't know, this whole elevation sickness thing is really weird. Like yesterday, I felt like death. I mean, I could barely move around or anything yesterday, and had no appetite at all. I actually cracked into my coconut water because I felt like I was getting dehydrated, even though I've been drinking a ton of water. But I didn't eat a whole lot yesterday, so thinking that I need to just kind of make myself eat, even though I'm not hungry. Yeah, I think I'm just going to use what I prepped up here. So I've got some potato that I just quickly fried off a little bit, and just to give it a little extra flavor, and some of those onions, and then just a couple of those eggs. I'm quickly running out of those dozen eggs. I should probably go back and buy some more while they're still on sale. And since I can eat them now, that's another thing. I stayed away from eggs for so long because they just were bothering me. But maybe it's just these eggs. I don't know. Now the only thing this needs is a little bit of yellow bird. So one thing that was missing from my breakfast this morning, this will be much better. Well, you know, I have a whole lot that I could be doing and probably should be doing, planning and all, since I'm trying to leave town tomorrow, but I'm tired. So I'm just going to put my feet up here, and if I fall asleep and take a nap, so be it. Okay, well, I've had a nice little nap, but I think it's time to go. This spot usually fills up every evening for baseball games, so I don't like to hang around because I'm just taking up a spot that the families and the players need for their baseball games. So since it's starting to happen now, I should probably take off now before it gets super crowded here. So I guess I should go fill up my water and buy a few groceries, because I am planning to leave tomorrow. It's just getting to be too much for me to stay here. In fact, to add on another thing other than just the elevation, it's starting to get warm. Alright, so I went back to Natural Grocers to buy more of those eggs that I had earlier, and these were $1.99, which I think is a pretty good price for free-range eggs. One thing that I didn't notice when I bought them originally was that these are soy-free eggs, and I wonder if that's the issue I've been having with eggs now and then. I wonder if I just switch to the soy-free eggs, if that's going to be what I need to do. Anyway, I'll know next time I go to buy eggs, because I think I'm going to buy some more soy-free eggs just because these are not bothering me at all. And this place has the best price on Oatly I've ever seen. I think it was $4.75 for half gallon. Only trouble is I'm going to have to shoehorn this into my fridge because I don't really have room for another half gallon, so I'll have to do a little maneuvering. And I wanted some tortillas. I was going to buy some tortillas because it's so warm out. I don't really like making tortillas when it's warm because it just heats up the van and then I don't sleep very well. So I was going to actually buy some tortillas, but they were out of tortillas that I could eat. So I may have to make some tortillas, but I did buy some chips. These are on sale too, so $2.20 or something like that. So not bad for organic chips. 16-ounce bag. I think that's a pretty good price for organic chips. And then I was bad. because this place sells my favorite ice cream. So, so I couldn't help myself. I figured it'd help my mood a little bit. Although I've actually been in a fairly decent mood today. I feel pretty good physically. I am a little stressed about those couple of bills, and I'm a little stressed about traveling here. So I'll talk about that in a minute. Let me get this stuff put away, and we'll discuss my trepidation with leaving Flagstaff. Okay, I got it all in there, no problem. Even a little bit of room to spare. I put the full half-gallon of Oatly laying down, so that freed up a lot of space. I just packed everything back up on top, and that worked out just fine. Okay, I've got water, and that was the last thing on my list to get done. I'm ready to hit the road. I've got probably a big drive, and this is why I have a bit of trepidation about leaving Flagstaff here. It's been a really great place. I'm very happy to have gotten here. If I didn't come here to Flagstaff, I would have really kicked myself. There was no way for me to know that I wouldn't be able to handle the elevation. That's just a little thing, you know, I mean, we all have our little issues. Apparently, elevation is one of mine. This is a continuing thing. It's happened before. So, you know, a little bit of a bummer, but on the other hand, this has been a really nice place to be. It's been fairly cool here, and at night, of course, it's really nice and cool. Everywhere around Flagstaff is boiling. It's 90 degrees and on up anywhere down the hill from Flagstaff here. So I'm glad I don't have to deal with that, because I'm not handling heat very well either. I've known that for years. So this has been a good place to be. I wished I could have gotten out and hiked a little bit more, but you know, at least I got some good weather here and experienced the town. I would definitely come back here, even with the difficulties I've had. I would definitely come back here. Maybe just do a little more planning before I came here. But my issue now is I've got to drive someplace, and I have a few things that I want to avoid. I want to avoid any high elevation, and I want to avoid heat. And basically, as soon as I leave Flagstaff, I get out of elevation, but I get lots and lots of heat. And so that's got me a little bit concerned. And if you look at a map, I've got a long ways to go to get through desert. In other words, hot areas. And I'm not looking forward to that, but I guess I just need to do it. And of course, my initial thought process is just head straight west, get to the coast where I know it's going to be cool. I know I can get some work, and that would be what I would normally do in a normal situation. But I have been pushing myself to get out of my comfort zone a little bit. So I am not going to head to the coast, but I'm staying away from California only because of the other thing I'm trying to avoid. I would put it as third, but it's really kind of first on my list, and that's gas prices. As soon as I get back into California, I'm looking at $1.50 more per gallon, and so that's kind of not something I can do, especially now after those heavy bills that I surprisingly got dumped on me. So California is off the list. So nice cool temperatures at the coast, and the ocean where I want to be is off the list, at least for now. And I'll let you know where I end up. And normally on a vlog like this, when I do a day in a life thing, I try to go all the way to the end of the day and show you what I'm making for dinner and all that. But one, I don't really think I'm going to eat much for dinner tonight. And two, I got to get to bed. Got to get some sleep so that I am ready to move tomorrow. So next vlog will be where I end up, and by the time you see this, I will be there, because I'm gonna have to get there first and then edit this video and upload it. So this will all be this is all in the past now, but you probably know that these videos run about a week behind normally. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it.